Hey, first of all, guys, we're glad you're here. We're excited about our year. I know right now there's a lot of questions about the Mule Riders out there. Obviously, we lost some guys off our football team that were very instrumental in our success the last 2 years here. You start with our quarterback situation, where Tyler Sikora, basically rewrote the record books here at Southern Arkansas. Mark Johnson, a young man that became the all-time leading rusher and scorer here in school history. Those are two big pieces to the puzzle we got to replace. You look at us on defense with Tate Mustin and Mark Spate that were first-team all-conference linebackers. As people look at us, man, how are they going to replace those guys? Good question. I think we have. We're very confident in what we're replacing them with. We really are. Just the guy sitting here to the right of me, I think he's been waiting his turn. It's his time. He's confident. He's talented. He's more than ready. Darius Blackshire will be our quarterback. And we have the utmost confidence in his ability and what he's going to be able to do to our football team. We're obviously going to be able to do a few things different with him that we couldn't do with Tyler. Hopefully he'll throw for as many yards, and hopefully our percentage will go up, as we've talked about quite a bit. Running back right now, DeAndre Jenkins, a young man that's been in our program for a while. Big back, fast, really came onto the scene a little bit for us last year. Was very productive for us when we called on him. Had a great spring for us. He's ready. He's ready, and it isn't like he's the Lone Ranger either. He brought in a young man by the name of Dwight Smith. Was a very highly touted running back coming out of East Texas, Carthage High School, and they won the state championship when Si was there. Signed with TCU. He's in our program now, looking good. Have high expectations for him. DeAndre Williams, a young man out of Jefferson, Texas, 100-meter sprint champion in Texas, redshirted last year. He's out there ready to go. We've got a lot of guys at running back that are more than capable of being able to pick up the slack. May not have that one guy that goes for all the yards, but we may have a stable that can carry that load and get the same kind of yards we were getting last year. We're going to be much more experienced in the offensive line. You look at our offensive line. We had two young men that were freshmen last year that ended up starting for us before the year's over. That's almost unheard of in the offensive line. First time I've ever had it in my coaching career. And obviously they're back with Dylan Beaver and Chris Paul out of Liberty ILO. Nick Nichols, a young man that's really turned into a very talented tackle for us. Young man out of Rayville, Louisiana, and John Miller. DeQueen, Arkansas, second-team all-conference guy last year. Should be, I think he's as good as there is in our league. Big, smart, everything you want in an offensive lineman. So, there's a lot of experience coming back there. A very solid group with others that I could name. We are going to miss the services of Jonathan Greenidge. Hurt his knee, had knee surgery after a spring practice last year, so he's not going to be back with us this fall. But DeMarte Clayton, has started for us at times here, and another young man we brought into the program last year, Kobe Geeson, that is looking really good, big kid out of Danbury, Texas. So offensive line right now, we're feeling obviously like all the other teams out there. You gotta avoid injuries, but right now we feel very good where we're at there. Wide receiver core, Zacharias Ware's coming back, Hobney's back. Two guys that played for us last year. Obviously, we lost two of our more go-to type receivers last year. We feel like we've brought some guys in that are going to make a difference there. With Tanner Hudson, 6'5", young man out of Tennessee that was at the University of Memphis last year, is with us now. Another young man, Aaron Johnson, played at the University of Houston last year. You may know him from Longview. He was the quarterback there a few years ago. Very talented guy. Jonathan Weisheidt, young man that we redshirted last year. So there's a stable. I tell you, our freshman crew out there on the field today, we got 9 freshman receivers in here. By far, hands down, not even close. Best group most talented group I've ever seen on this field of receivers. So somebody in that group's got to step up and help us. And, that's us on the offensive side of the football right now. Defensively, this young man right here, for most any other team in our league, would have been a starter. He was just enough of a team guy to share time. Which a lot of guys wouldn't like to be put in that situation, but he did. And I think Luke is as good a linebacker as there is in the GAC. Talented. I mean, he knows how to read things and reads them quickly. Obviously in the back end, Mario's guy's been out here, what now, going in 4th year. I mean, been a starter for 3. Has been very solid for us. James Thurston's back there. Vince Stewart's back there. Quan Warren, who I think's not a better corner in our league, back in our back end. So a lot of positives. You look at our defensive line. Nolan has been a very steady starter for us. Philip Garr, young man out of Wynne, Arkansas. Our middle's very secure. Probably the biggest question mark on our defensive side of the football right now is the edges. We're very young there. We're very talented there, but unproven. Cornelius Watson out of El Dorado has been in our program a long time, really stepped up last year, and in the spring had a great spring, looking good. As to where he's at this point, obviously we hadn't put the pads on yet, but if he does anything close to what he did last spring to us, we're in good hands right there. So a lot of guys, a lot of numbers. That's what's so exciting about our football team. We got 120 guys that dressed out here today. We'll have a few more come into the program when school starts that are coming out late for me. But we've brought in 60 of those. That 120 are brand new to our program, and good or bad, I think it's good for us, and because we got a lot of good veterans coming back and a lot of youth and talent. More talent than we've ever brought in here at one time. So we're excited about our football season and the prospects for what we can do here.
Coach, expectations were so high last year, and you lose your first game.
Mm-hmm.
How bad did that hurt?
Obviously any loss hurts. I mean, obviously the thing that you battle with a veteran team coming back is getting complacent a little bit. Got into a situation where you come into fall camp, the rule in NCAA, you got 21 days to bring them in before the first game, and in football, if you don't come in ready, and guys get dinged up in practice, pull a muscle here or there, they're out, and they're missing practices. We go to Southeast last year with 5 starters set at home. Didn't make the trip. And that's hard. And then, it was a battle. They sprung a running back on us that we'd never seen. Freshman, made first team all conference. He's a player. And we got to have a better plan for him. That was disappointing, obviously. We bounced back, played a really tough game out here against Harding on national TV. Could have went either way easily. The loss at Tech, still bothers me to this day. That was a tough day for me. Had a lot of things going on last year at this time, and that's when we let get away from us. Really felt like the Henderson game that snowballed on us. They had a good team, pure and simple. But we felt like we had a good year. It was the first time in 10 years we had back-to-back winning seasons here. Hasn't been 3 winning seasons in a row here since 97, 98, and 99. And we have full expectations to do that and better this year.
Si, you were a quarterback on a high school state championship team. Now here you are a senior in college and you haven't been a regular starter in college yet. Have you been frustrated, or are you ready for your opportunity?
I wouldn't say I've been frustrated, but I've just been playing my role, doing what I have to do to have our teammates prepared for whoever we play the next week. This is my last go for college, so I'm just going to make it the best I can.
Coach Surratt, do you communicate with him much?
Oh, yeah, we talk often. Often. I was actually working out with him the last 2 weeks before we came in July. Same old guy. Once you're a player for a coach, that's always your coach. That's how I look at it. So, we have a good relationship.
What did you learn under Sakura?
I learned how to. He wasn't very much like a vocal leader, but by example, he was pretty good at leading by example, and I watched him in that area. But as far as playing ability, I felt like it could have went either way. Like, he was a starter, he's been here, but we were good 1 and 2 at quarterback, and we just competed on each other. We thrived off each other. And I just made sure that I pushed him in practice to make sure he was on point in the game.
Bill, when SAU came out of high school, there was so much talk in Texas of what he was going to be a really good college quarterback, and it probably hasn't worked out like he would have hoped. But now here he is a senior, and he's going to be the leader of this team. At least he hopes so. What are your thoughts about?
Oh, he will be the leader of our team, and he's more than capable. I can assure you that. You know, we were in very good hands. I mean, it really speaks highly of Sedarius and what he had done the last 2 years here. You know, obviously we know we tried to recruit him right out of junior college, and he chose to go to Sam Houston first, and things might have been totally different if he had came here right off the bat. And he went and had that little experience and decided to come here after some things went down there, and he walked into a situation that there was an established quarterback. So, that's tough for anybody. Quarterback's a hard position. I mean, most teams only one plays. You know, it's not like linebacker or DB or D-line where you play, too deep at every one of those positions every game. Quarterback, normally you're going with your main number one guy unless the game gets out of hand or he gets hurt. So he accepted the roles, and a lot of guys wouldn't do that. That tells me a lot about that young man right there. For him to be able to do that and wait his turn. Not a lot of guys will do that this day and time. They'd quit. They'd go home.
Bill, often talk about the deep snapper, and they never get any credit. But Jacob Pumphrey's done a great job for your program. What has he meant to SAU, and what have you seen from him in his career?
Wow, I mean, that's something as coaches that you sometimes take for granted until you don't have one. And, he puts you in a situation where you can put your head on the pillow at night and not worry about that whatsoever. I mean, he has done a great job here, and been very fortunate. I mean, he's taken on that role. He's accepted that's his role on this team, loves it, and has really turned into an outstanding deep snapper for us. And, we feel like we're in very good hands in that position for this year. And, we feel like our kicking game's a lot better in a lot of aspects, especially with him, doing the deep snapping for us.
Coach, let me go back to your quarterbacking just for a second. You go from a quarterback who's thrown 1,000 yards to someone who's really hadn't gotten over, 400 maybe. Mm-hmm. Does that change your offensive coordinator play calling early in the season, or can you just keep the same beat?
Oh, he's more than capable of doing everything we've been able to do here. I can tell you that right now. He's got an arm it's going to surprise some people, when they watch him throw a football. I mean, him and Tyler stand side by side, and they throw the ball. It looks like the same ball coming out. Just one's a little taller than the other. I mean, the thing that he can bring to our football team that, that we did not like to do with Tyler is run the football from the quarterback position. That's just something that we did not like to do with Tyler. There was reasons behind it, but he has that ability. So it's added to our offense of some things that we have not been able to do here that we would have liked to done. So I'm excited to see that happen because those things we're talking about are there in college football.
We actually saw Cy running the ball a little bit last year. Usually if it was late in the game, that's pretty much what he was doing, but we haven't really seen that arm yet.
Yeah. Well, you're going to see it. You're going to see it. He was a little heavier this time last year. He's finally knows I'm the guy, and he's gone to work. He's got his weight right. Looks good right now.
Look, yourself going in as a linebacker and a senior this year. Last year, the linebacker position was really a strength on the defense just as far as experience. A couple all-conference linebackers at the end of the year. Talk about that transition from them, with you being a veteran coming in. How's the linebacking core looking?
We're deep right now, linebacker. I mean, we're 5 deep at each position, and we got experienced guys. We have guys that are, I know Hayden Ribisky, he's a senior. Ivan Ramos, he's a senior. Keanu Soto, he's a senior. Then AJ Steele, he played, was it 2 years ago?
2 years ago.
All-conference linebacker, I'm pretty sure. He's came back to play this year, and we got 2 guys that have come in from a JUCO and a college transfer, and they're looking pretty good. So it's going to be a lot of competition at the linebacker position.
What do you think is going to be the most important thing in order to keep the linebacking position as a strength of the defense?
Oh, well, first you got to win your job, win your alignment and all that. And you just got to fit the run, stop the run, force them to throw the ball, and let the guys behind us take care of it, and we'll help them out as much as we can in that part. But, yeah, Coach Lawson, we're run fitters first, so that's what we take pride in, is stopping the run. If you run the ball on us, we're not going to be happy. So that's what we like to do, stop the run.
Mario, from that defensive back standpoint, talked about how the linebacking core was kind of that group that you look at on paper and say that might be, the most depth, a lot of talent, a lot of guys returning. That's kind of the defensive backfield this year. Even some talented newcomers coming in. So kind of talk to us a little bit about how the defensive backs are looking.
Defensive backs, we're looking real good this year. Everybody's energy's high. Coming out to practice excited about competing and trying to win over the job and become the starter. And the young guys we got in, they're listening, they're learning, they're taking coaching well from other players, and they're out here to get better and to learn also. We got some guys that only been here for probably a year, and I feel like I've been playing with them for 4 years because our chemistry at defensive back is very tight. We have a well-knit chemistry.
Coach, can somebody beat Henderson?
Sure. I mean, somebody can beat him. We're expecting to. I mean, let's be real. I mean, we ain't going to line up if we don't think we're going to win on Saturday. I mean, we're not going to take the field on a Saturday this year and not feel like we can beat someone. I'll tell you that right now. I mean, they're a well-coached football team. They got a great quarterback up there. They got a talented receiver up there. But they've had 2 great years, probably the 2 best years in the history of Henderson State University. That's without a doubt. I mean, but they're a beatable team. There's no doubt about it.
Seems like when they get out of the conference, they get beat pretty quick.
Yeah. And it's hard to put a finger on that. Playoffs is a whole different animal. If you've never been there and been in it, it's a different deal. Don't know what their approach is, after the season. Sometimes people take a different approach to playoff games than they did regular season, and it'll affect them. So they're probably learned from that, I'm sure.
So Darius, who are some quarterbacks you look up to on the pro level that you have to monitor your game at?
Well, coming out of high school, I wasn't a scrambler at all. Coach Surratt was kind of like how Coach Kep was towards Tyler. He didn't want me out of the pocket much. He wanted me to do everything from inside the pocket and deliver. So, but I'm a big fan of Cam Newton, Johnny Manziel. I mean, I know they're a little more mobile-like, but I just like their style, their excitement towards the game, and just how they play their position.
Nolan, we heard a lot about the experience of the offensive line. Does that give you confidence, or does that worry you a little bit?
Not really. It gives us confidence in our offensive line producing on Saturdays like they're supposed to. So.
Nolan, being on the defensive front, one of the teams in the conference, obviously Harding, they showcase the run probably more than anybody in this conference and probably the region with the triple option. Talk about that, knowing that that's a game on the schedule every year to where you have to prepare for it, and kind of how it maybe differentiates from playing a team that kind of spreads it out more with the passing game.
Well, Harding's a whole different animal. I mean, they're cutting you constantly on the defensive line, so our main objective against them is to get in the gaps and stay low.
On your schedule is a conference game. How does that affect your preparation?
It's different. I've never experienced anything like that. Obviously you'd like to be like the big boys, and you get you about 3 or 4 cupcakes and go out there and just like a good scrimmage and get you a W and feel good about yourself, but we don't get that luxury, and that's how it goes when you play in a level of football that they have a playoff system. So, you're going to be limited on the number of dates. I think we're fortunate. We're in a very good league, very good football league for us. The schools in Oklahoma are very comparable in size and all the little things that go along with putting a college program together at this level. It's good football, a lot of talent in our league. Right now the Arkansas schools, not that I want to broadcast this over Oklahoma, but right now we got a little bit of an edge on them. East Central's a very scary football team. They're a good-looking football team, a team that could bust out at any time. You hear a lot of very positive things with Southwest right now, and new coaching staff at Southeast. So, I've been out there and competed against what used to be the old OIC for many years. and they were always tough, and they still are. But at the same time, the old AIC, which is this half of the league, has been a very good league too. And that right now, as you look at our league the last couple of years, since this league has started, with Henderson, Harding, us, and Ouachita, that's kind of been the strength from the Arkansas side. And, I know Tech's up there talking very positively right now about themselves. And, I know they got some good coaches on their staff, and got a lot of things, positive things in their program. But, it makes it difficult. There's no doubt. It makes it difficult.
Do you look for the GAC to split to a couple different divisions the next few years?
I hope not. I really don't, even though, nobody likes to have to play a conference game from day one all the way through. But, the difficulty at our level, if you split and then you start playing crossover games and someone gets left out playing one of the weaker teams and you're having to play one of the tougher teams, that's always a bad thing, just like you look at it in the SEC, how that goes down in the bigger conference that has to split and play like that. So I'd just soon keep it where we're playing everybody. We get to where we can have an 11-game schedule, and that's it. So we're going to have 12 teams, I hope, and that's all we get in our league. Of course, I don't have any say-so about that, so we'll play whatever they tell us to play and go about it. But right now, it's good. I like it the way it is. It's very hard to come up with non-conference games in Division II. Just like you can see the GSC is struggling right now, and the Lone Star is struggling to come up with conference games. You end up having to go way off to play someone and, travel at this level. You're not getting on a jet out there at Magnolia Municipal, and it just don't work. And so you got to get on a bus, and we're fortunate right now. The longest ride we got in our conference is up to Northwest. That's a 9-hour bus trip, and that's tough. But the rest of them are pretty nice, really, compared to what it used to be in the Gulf South.
As far as you know, is that the plan right now, to be when Oklahoma Baptist is up there eligible to make it 11-game conference schedule? That pretty much.
Dan, I don't. I mean, you'd have to ask Coach Browning and Dr. Rankin those questions. I don't get in on those meetings. They just, that's how it goes. I mean, all we're worrying about is bringing talented young men in here that can do school work and play football and do right, and try to put together the best program we can possibly put together here at Southern Arkansas. And right now we're on stable ground. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. Doesn't mean, I'm not sitting here saying we're winning championship right now. I think we can. I think we got the talent to. There's some things we got to get ironed out between our ears, and if we do that, they better strap it on when we come to play, because it's we got that much talent on our football team right now.